So what's a good, fairly inexpensive, quality, but yet cheap, entry-level laser? Got one right here. I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to say right up front, this isn't sponsored. This is in response to a lot of viewer questions. Coming up. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop, and if you've watched my channel much, you know that I have a lot of lasers. I have 15 of them in total right now that I'm using, and one of the all-purpose lasers I use, and you've seen them in quite a few of my videos that I've used for just all kinds of different things, is the longer Ray 5 10 watt. And I've got it sitting right here, and yes, it's been modified. It doesn't come with this on it, I added that. And I added the air assist, and I also bought a small honeycomb board for when I do cutting on this. I generally don't do cutting on this, but once in a while I have a small project, I can do it on here. I have other lasers. As I said, I have quite a few of them, and each one has a specific purpose. Specific. There we go. Whether it be for cutting or maybe rotary use or just engraving or just on stainless steel, or maybe it's just on tile. I have two dedicated just for doing ceramic tiles. I can also do them on here. I've done them on here. In fact, my layout board is for this. The reason I'm plugging this is because their tech support is top-notch. If you have a problem and you contact longer, and I have had some things where I needed parts and this and that. This has had a lot of use. And I had an issue with some firmware, and within 12 hours I had a response. And yes, it takes a while because I'm in the US, and I'm assuming wherever I'm emailing tech support to is on the other side of the world, probably in China. So yeah, there's going to be a lag there, but their response is quick. They take care of you quickly. When you do order parts and other things, for example, when I ordered the air assist, I had it in a couple days. Honeycomb board I think took a week, but it did come from China. So, you know, it takes a while to get things over the ocean like that, so it must not have been on a slow boat, as they say. But I have nothing but praise for this machine. The other reason I like it a lot is because I could take my laptop here, load whatever G-code I'm using for whatever project on SD card, stick the SD card in the laser, running it off the touchscreen in the front. It doesn't tie up my laptop. I can use it for one of my other lasers or another purpose, maybe a 3D printer, maybe one of my sublimation printers. I've got a lot of things going on. So even though I have 4 laptops in here, they get shuffled around a lot, and I hate it when I have them all tied up at once. So another question I get is, I want a laser, but I want it to be maintenance free. There's no such thing. I don't care what type of mechanical apparatus you have, there's going to be some type of maintenance to be done on it. There's not a lot on here. You need to make it clean, or keep it clean. Probably cleaner than what I have this one right here, because it resides in my shop here where there's a lot of sawdust and dust and dirt and so on. But yes, you do need to keep it cleaned and lubricated, and don't abuse it. Don't carry it around by the X gantry or something. I keep them mounted to a board whenever I'm carrying a laser, and not just this one, but any of them. I carry them by the board or by the frame. I don't just grab it by the gantry and go carting it around, and I don't let the gantry slam back and forth or any of the axes slam back and forth. That's hard on stepper motors, it's hard on everything. So yeah, it doesn't matter what machine you got, nothing is going to be maintenance free. So have I had any problems with this? Well, of course I have. And one of them was most notably operator error. This has a flame detection on it, and it's on the back of the controller right here, and it faces the work area. I was running this on the other bay of the shop here, and it was early in the morning, and I was starting to make some smoke, so I opened the overhead door. Well, the sun was coming up, it's on the horizon, shop faces east, sun shined in, laser stopped. Well, what in the world's going on there? So I went and reset it because it ruined the project. I had to reset it, started it over, and as soon as I walked away from it, the laser stopped. Well, then I figured out it was the sun hitting that flame sensor. So yes, that was a problem. No, don't disable it. It's there for a reason. I had two solutions: turn the laser around, which I did, or close the door. So yeah, it's not for use outdoors in the sun. So yeah, you can't do that. Or if you are going to have it outdoors, have it in the shade. Don't have it where the sun's going to hit that flame sensor. So you say you had to order some parts for it. What'd you break? Well, you own a car? I bet you've broken a belt before. And I did just that. One of the belts broke. It literally wore out. I don't know how many hours on this. Before I put the 10-watt head on it, I had the 5-watt head on it, and hours and hours and hours and hours on that. And I have done burn tests on this head here, the 10-watt head, from when it was new, and I did one here about a month ago in a video that you can find on my channel, comparing to how the head's held up, because I run this at 100% power a lot, and they don't really recommend you do that. They usually recommend you not run them more than 80% power, but sometimes I need to get a lot of jobs done in a hurry, even though I've got a lot of lasers. Sometimes I have quite a few I'm running at once. I need to get things cranked out. I'll crank them up and run them as fast as I can. So why did I add air assist, and do you have to have it? Do you have to have it? No. If you're cutting, I highly suggest it. If you're doing engraving, and a lot of it in wood especially, I really suggest it, because it will greatly reduce the amount of scorching you get around the edges, the amount of sanding you'll have to do. And when we get into making signs, and I use this one a lot on wood cedar signs, kind of like what you see right here, I do a lot of that, and I don't want any scorching, especially if I'm doing a grayscale type thing like that. You can't sand that, so you can't have any scorching. A lot of the infill I do, whether it be offset or direct infill, I still do not want scorching around the edges. And yes, you can eliminate that by putting blue painter's tape over it, then pulling the tape off afterwards. Same as if you're going to color infill, then you're going to have to do some weeding, and I don't always have time for that if we have an order for quite a few different things at once. So that's why I use air assist. I use it on almost everything. Of course, when I'm engraving stainless or something like that, I don't use it on that. But any type of wood, pretty much got that going all the time. Even ceramic tile, keeps the dust blown out. It also keeps your lens clean. Not 100%, you still got to clean your lens, but it'll keep it a lot cleaner than if you didn't have air assist. So as you can see from my spoil board, and that's what this is called right here, that this grid is on, and I burned this grid on there as a layout grid to make it quick to be able to lay out different projects. And I have little feet on the corners. I have a video on that on my channel, how I did all this. You'll see there's a few what they call spoils on here, because yes, there's every once in a while there's an operator error, like when you're cutting and you go off the edge, or if you're engraving and you go off your piece because you weren't paying close attention to what you were doing. That's operator error did that, not the laser. So why am I recommending the longer? If I've got so many different lasers, I've got Ortur, I've got Atom Stack, I've got X-Tool, I've got 2 trees, don't buy 2 trees. I got a video of why. I've got ComGrow, I've got Laser Bear, I've got a Saint Smart 3018 converted to a laser, and I just recently converted back to the 3018 CNC, another story, different video. But with all these different lasers I have, why am I recommending the longer? Reason is because it's so universal and so much all-purpose. And yes, you can use a rotary with it if you wish. I have another laser, I have one of my X-Tools set up, and that's all I do with it is rotary work. So it's already set up, I don't need to fool with it, but I have the luxury of having several lasers. Not that I do a lot of rotary work, but when I need to, it's right there, and boom, I can go to it. If you don't know what a rotary is, it's an attachment that you put on your laser bed, and you unplug the Y-axis stepper motor, and then you plug your rotary into that plug, and your Y-axis acts as what rotates the piece that's on your rotary, and your X and your, of course there is no Z-axis motion here, your Z-axis up and down, that's a focus. Then your X-axis, which runs this way, will run back and forth on that, where with your Y motor here When it's disconnected, that will no longer move this way, only your rotary will. So can you just take it out of the box and start making stuff? Well, yes and no. You're going to do some testing. You're going to have to do some test burns and find out your correct levels. There are some guides, and I've done quite a few different videos on different things you can do. You can make signs like this. I made this custom sign for someone. This is the type of thing you can make. You can make custom signs for people. You can make gag signs. I've done a lot of those. In fact, I'll show you one of them. If you've watched my channel much, you know I'm a DeWalt guy. I don't know if you can see, but back over there I've got just a stack of DeWalt tools. And I'm on the DeWalt platform. And I have had no problems with DeWalt. When I was in the electrical trade, a retired electrician, we used DeWalt with the company I worked for the last 20 years or so before I retired. And I've never had any problem with the DeWalt tools. So I have a DeWalt miter saw over here. I've got a DeWalt planer back here. I've got DeWalt all kinds of stuff. So the joke got me, you know, you're going to go out to D-Shop. No, I'm going to go out to D-Shed. And I have keys for D-Garage and D-Shop and D-House. And so this is one of the little gag things you can do. And this all started out with a friend of mine. He's, won't get into that part, but you can make signs. This was done on here. This is one of the more recent engraves. And this is on half-inch cedar, which is actually a cedar fence picket. You can get it at your home store. They're 6 feet tall. They're 5.5 inches wide, roughly. They're a half-inch thick, roughly, and I do mean rough. I run them through the planer to make them smooth like this here. And then you can do your engraves on this. This is a good thing to start out with if you're just getting into laser engraving. And again, this is an excellent tool for it. And yes, you can engrave on stainless steel. This is one of those Dollar Tree, $1.25 scrapers. I did my initials on there and on this laser. There's a video on it on my channel. All the settings are there. Just follow it. You'll be able to do the same thing. You don't need to do my initials. Use your own. So that's probably enough rambling about this longer laser, the Ray 5 10 watt. Like I said, this is not a sponsored video, so I'm going on and on. I'm not getting paid for it by any means. But people had asked, want a good, inexpensive, entry-level laser. This is it. I don't want it to sound like a commercial, but this is what I am recommending for it. Yes, there's a lot of other brands out there, and a lot of them have their good points, a few have their bad points. But for an all-purpose laser that's been trouble-free with excellent, excellent technical support, I think this is a good go-to machine. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Helps the channel. Roger in the shop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.